Good morning. A couple days ago, I posted a blog at EV World with the title of Crimes Against Humanity, The Trials, 2029. And it was just meant to be a cautionary tale about global warming. And so it was a little piece of science fiction, if you will. However, I only went back to check it after a couple days, and it had 2,700 people had read it. And then I went to post some minor changes to it, and it had disappeared. And so I got a hold of the editor, and he said he had to take it down. And he had an ex-GM executive that had complained about it and had intimated that there might be some people who would like to sue over this. So I had no problem with that. Actually, I wrote him back and I said I didn't know you could cross the line with people nowadays. And that's kind of true in the Trump era. But anyway, I wanted to shoot a video about it because I think the blog was a good blog. It's should fall under the rubric of freedom of speech, and I just wanted to. It's a cautionary tale. I wanted to warn people about the potential for future massive human die-offs, and well, in my scenario, if 3 billion people died off because of climate change, because we could no longer feed people. And rich people were having trouble buying food in the stores, some people might get rather upset. And turns out climate change is real, and they want to know who knew about it and when they knew about it and why they acted for decades to forestall any attempts to mediate global warming. So, or catastrophic climate change, or whatever you want to call it. So this was kind of a challenge to write. It ended up being 4 pages long, and I basically I just Googled the top climate change deniers and put their names down, and then I Googled the top oil and gas corporations in the United States and Europe. And then I Googled the top electric companies. And then I Googled the top guys in the Congress, either senators or representatives, that were forestalling climate change legislation. And of course I had my own knowledge of the history of the United States presidency, so I threw them in. And so the thing's a bit mundane because of the list of all these groups and people. Also, I threw in the automobile manufacturers. Of course, that's where I got in trouble because a GM executive, an ex-GM executive, protested the blog. But anyway, I set a trial in Nuremberg, 2029, and I said death sentences were handed down. After all, this is not too hard to imagine. If 3 billion people died off, and we got upset with the Nazis in World War II and Japan, because we were the winners and they were the losers, and we tried them for war crimes. And the Nazis only killed 6 million people. And if, it's hypothetical, if half the human race were to die off because of climate change, and we have all these corporations and heads of governments who for decades forestalled any action on climate change mitigation just to protect their profits, people might want to come after these people in the future. And So it's kind of a warning. So anyway, I said my scenario was the Arctic sea ice having been lost by the summer of 2018. Rapid warming of the Arctic Ocean ensued massive amounts of frozen methane that was thawed out and released, and major crop failures. And so that's just pretty much it. Death sentences were handed down heavily weighted towards the Trump and Pence administration, but there was a cogent reason for this because of Trump pulling out of the Paris Accords. And even though we're only 25% of all emissions, this caused a domino effect on other countries. Life sentences. That's where I bring up Bob Lutz was deceased, but Rick Wagner was tried, sentenced to 20 years. Other execs and officers responsible for crushing EV1 received 20-year sentences, as did a couple members of the CARB board in California who were found to have taken bribes. The Koch brothers, however, were executed. And I have 32 oil company executives receiving a total of 640 years. 3 of them were hanged. 36 electric utility company executives received a total of 720 years. 4 of them were hanged. And pretty much half of all Republican congressmen serving from 1980 to 2020. And anyway, and part of my whole point in this thing is we're all culpable. We're allowing these people to do this to us. As I like to point out to people, if you want to protest a oil pipeline, or you're concerned about drilling offshore or in the Arctic or something, you know, it might behoove you not to buy so much gasoline. And these people are going to keep drilling and selling this product as long as people keep buying it. And when people stop buying it so much, they're going to drill and produce and sell less. It's just that simple. So I talked about the fact that we've all embraced a consumer lifestyle with a megalomania that would make Ahab and character in Moby Dick blanch, because we weren't willing to give up the good life. And so I'm saying, who's to say when we all stand before the bar? And I'm just asking people to vote at the ballot box and vote with their wallet. And be the change you're looking for. And it was a pretty simple message, really. I wasn't trying to get up on a soapbox and tell people we need to go out today and gather up all these people and start hanging and shooting and locking people up. That wasn't the point of this blog at all. And so it was rather interesting that it kind of hit a nerve, and it got censored. So I PDF'd the document and I put it on my Facebook page for Electric Vehicle Organization, Southern New Mexico, and also sent a copy of it to Guy McPherson, and I posted it on Paul Beckwith's page as a PDF. So I'm trying to find another venue for it, but I think it's rather straightforward. We're growing up, so it's not a subject we should hide from. And I'm not wishing any of this would happen. I say so clearly in the blog. So there you have it. Go check out my blog, Crimes Against Humanity, parentheses, The Trials 2029. And you'll find it at Electric Vehicle Organization, SNM which stands for Southern New Mexico, on Facebook, and then Paul Beckwith's Facebook page, also, which is devoted to climate change. So I'm going to let you go there, and we'll still be talking to you down the road. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.